One of my major concerns with Borderlands 3 was if it would be an Epic Games Store exclusive. This PC Store launcher, unfortunately, is probably the most hated thing in gaming right now, just because of the way Epic Games has gone about growing the store. The store is not all bad, it definitely benefits developers with a more fair profit split, but that really is just about it. I have for the longest time said that Steam needs a proper competitor because they really have had a monopoly on PC gaming for years, and I'd argue as a company, Valve has become more lazy and greedy over the years. Let's be honest, there's a reason why Valve has not made Half-Life 3, or Left 4 Dead 3, or Portal 3, or Team Fortress 3 yet, but have made Artifact, a card game that has lost almost all of its player base and is on the verge of death only 6 months after it launched. Now with that said, I definitely agree Valve needs competition, but Epic Games, at least so far, has gone about it the wrong way, turning the PC gaming community against them. The Epic Games Store really is just meh. There's nothing that benefits consumers and it lacks tons of basic features. I just don't understand how something like a shopping cart is a long-term feature on their long roadmap for it. That's something that should have been implemented day one, not one day. The Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney has also just made things worse by pretty openly saying that developers, not consumers, will decide the preferred PC storefront. He said just last month, "It's nearly perfect for consumers already. There is no hope of displacing a dominant storefront solely by adding marginally more store features or a marginally better install experience. These battles will be won on the basis of game supply, consumer prices, and developer revenue sharing." So far, Epic Games has been able to compete against Steam by throwing tons of money at developers in exchange for exclusivity and timed exclusivity deals for anticipated upcoming game releases. The problem though is how some of these deals have been made. Metro Exodus was marketed and hyped up for a long time as a game coming to Steam, but only 2 weeks before launch, it was announced that the game would no longer be available for purchase on Steam. Already existing pre-orders on Steam would be fulfilled, but any new purchases would only be available on the Epic Games Store for the next 12 months. It was a timed exclusive. Then there's Phoenix Point, a game that was being crowdfunded with the expectation and promise to backers that they'd get a Steam or a GOG key, but again, a timed exclusivity deal was reached. More recently, we have The Outer Worlds, a game being published by Take-Two Interactive's new label, Private Division, which is described as a publisher that manages the business side of games for developers. The Outer Worlds was revealed in December by Obsidian Entertainment, with the Steam logo shown at the end of its debut trailer, and the Steam page was launched that same day. But just about 2 weeks ago, it was revealed it would be another timed exclusive. With these 3 games, there has been a lot of anger from the PC gaming community because many are upset with promises being broken because Epic is throwing more money their way. But if you have followed this channel or watched my recent video on the Epic Games Store, I made a prediction of what would happen next following the news that The Outer Worlds was going to be a timed Epic Store exclusive. Remember, another game that came under fire for going on the Epic Games Store exclusively at launch was Metro Exodus. This was a decision that was not made by the developers 4A Games, but one that was made by the publisher Deep Silver. Now, if this was Take-Two Interactive's doing with The Outer Worlds, which I think it's a good chance that it was, it's important to note that they are the owners of Rockstar Games and 2K Games, and games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Borderlands 3 both could see PC announcements sometime very soon. Additionally, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has been very public with his support of the Epic Games Store, so it just wouldn't surprise me if Borderlands 3 is announced as an Epic Store timed exclusive. And that's exactly what is likely happening, and it is not surprising at all. So yesterday, there was a lot of confusion when a few Borderlands 3 advertisements were posted early. Some thought it was an April Fool's joke, but it actually looks like it was just a mistake by the social media team at Gearbox or 2K Games. The advertisements clearly were supposed to go live probably sometime tomorrow, which is when Gearbox is set to reveal more information about the next Borderlands game. But what these advertisements showed were a few things. One, which is actually really exciting, and it's that Borderlands 3 will be launching September 13th, which is much earlier than I personally expected. At PAX East, we really just got a tease, and I expected more would be shown than just a 3-minute trailer. But based off how much Gearbox held back on revealing, I kinda suspected that maybe an early 2020 release date would be announced later, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Now, the second thing that was revealed was in the bottom left corner, and these advertisements had the Epic Games Store logo, which for many was indication that an exclusivity deal was soon to be announced. But still, I think a lot of people were holding out hope that this was just an April Fool's joke, but it likely was not. As far as I understand, these tweets were originally discovered accidentally on the Borderlands website, and they were not supposed to be public yet, and when you went to one of these tweets, it was stated that these tweets were made through Twitter's ads composer. So yes, likely just an unfortunate mistake, but as I brought up earlier in this video, there is such disgust for the Epic Games Store right now because of the issues facing the store and how Epic Games has gone about gaining other exclusives. Because of that, the reaction was at first just disbelief, but that quickly turned to overwhelming negativity once Randy Pitchford, the Gearbox CEO, all but confirmed the exclusivity deal. He took to Twitter stating 2K Games, Take-Two Interactive has exclusive publishing rights for Borderlands 3 and makes all the decisions regarding price points, territories, distribution, and platform partnerships. Please direct all inquiries regarding any of these topics to 2K Games. We are just the talent. As a customer, I'm happy to shop in different stores, already do. I've bought games from Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Steam, Origin, GOG, Humble, Uplay, Epic, and other stores. To me, exclusives are fine when they come with advantages and when they are short, say 6 months, smiley face. For what it's worth, 2K's decision aside, myself and the team at Gearbox have a very keen interest in cross-platform play. We believe multi-platform support is a prerequisite, and Epic's leadership with cross-platform support is helpful to our interests there. So pretty much this was damage control by Randy Pitchford, and also him shifting the blame onto Take-Two Interactive and 2K Games, which again, just another publisher making a business decision that could hurt their game. Interestingly, it does look like Randy signaled that the exclusivity deal would be timed and only for 6 months, but I'll be honest, for the Epic Games Store, this is a slam dunk. This is really the first massive game for them. Now, someone did ask Randy what this little Twitter thread was in reference to. They specifically asked, did I miss anything? Did 2K announce that they were putting Borderlands 3 on the Epic Store, or are people just freaking out? And Randy would respond again, making sure people know this is not on them, but 2K Games, the publisher of Borderlands 3. Some speculation going around, and I just wanted to make it clear the truth/answers are going to come from 2K Games, not from Gearbox. So even with this sort of early damage control before the official announcement is made, people are pissed. You have comments like, you picked the wrong day to get serious, lol. Very, very bad day to be serious. I effing hope this is some kind of April Fool's. Epic Store exclusivity does nothing but hurt the game. There are a bunch of people who will refuse to buy the game no matter how good it is just because the suits decided to be greedy. Greedy companies equal unhappy customers. If Borderlands 3 is an Epic Store exclusive, prepare for it to tank. No one will willingly put spyware on their PCs, and that's actually in reference to accusations that the Epic Games Store has spyware on it, something that the CEO of Epic has denied, but there's still some very serious concerns being Tencent, a huge Chinese corporation, has major stakes in Epic Games. But as you'll see as I continue to scroll down showing some of the other user reactions, you have some not seeing the big deal, others saying that they will pirate, and even some saying that they have no interest in the game now and will boycott. On the Borderlands subreddit, it also seems that many are pissed about this decision, but as far back as 9 to 12 days ago, some were saying if this happens, it likely is Take-Two Interactive's doing. Now, as I said before, this is unfortunate but not surprising. Gearbox and Epic Games have already worked together in the past on Fortnite, and Randy Pitchford very early on was supportive of the Epic Games Store. So I'm just assuming this is what happened. Months ago, maybe around December 2018, when Randy took to Twitter and first indicated that Borderlands 3 could be a timed exclusive, an actual deal between Take-Two and Epic was reached before this shitstorm really began. Just because of the history between Gearbox and Epic Games, I'm going to guess and say Randy was told about the deal and didn't have an issue with it originally until he saw, the negative publicity that has hit the store and games associated with it in recent months. Something that is interesting to note is I recently asked former Obsidian Entertainment lead designer Chris Avallone if the decision for the Outer Worlds to be an Epic Store exclusive was on Take-Two Interactive and not Obsidian. What he responded by saying was at least something to think about. He said, nope, based on all my experience with the Obsidian CEO, the devs are always the last to know, and the last to know what the CEO decided. sometimes far in advance, even while the devs in the trenches were working hard on the game they believe in. Another interesting thing with The Outer Worlds was that the Steam page for the game was actually being actively worked on and updated just hours before the exclusive deal announcement. The game directors the month before also confirmed the game would be on Steam, so this leads me to believe that maybe the Obsidian CEO knew about the deal and just decided not to say anything to the developers. These are decisions that are made by and known by the executives, usually months before being publicly revealed. In all honesty, I do have trouble believing that Randy Pitchford had zero say in this decision, but overall, I mean, this will hurt. And when the official announcement comes, I can only imagine how much backlash Gearbox will face, even if this was not a decision made by them. But like The Outer Worlds, clearly Take-Two Interactive was thinking solely about what financially makes sense. Borderlands 3, like The Outer Worlds, is using the Unreal Engine, which is owned by Epic Games, meaning going with the Epic Store also ensures an even better profit split, which Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick surely could not ignore because, you know, that's all he cares about. And at this point, if Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be coming to PC, it shouldn't be surprising where it launches first. It's hilarious that just 2 months ago Strauss Zelnick made these comments. A lot of people thought this meant no Epic Store exclusivity would happen with their games, but now, well, obviously when he meant exclusive relationships, I think he meant console exclusives like a PlayStation 4 only Rockstar game, and not store exclusives like many assumed. Also, Strauss Zelnick has been well known for following the money, so taking his word has always been a bit difficult considering the shenanigans that Take-Two often gets away with. But I'll be honest, personally I still am excited for Borderlands 3. This is disappointing news and I can understand those who play on PC who may wait for the eventual Steam release, but yeah, I still am looking forward to this game on console. Anyway, so far it does seem Gearbox has been having to deal with negative impressions or news with Borderlands 3. You have the debut trailer, which I guess a lot of people were disappointed by, including some of the journalists at Polygon and IGN who wanted to see Battle Royale, and then GameSpot who doesn't feel enough was revealed. But yeah, this exclusivity deal, even if it is just 6 months, is more bad news, and long term for Epic Games, this is going to be a problem for their store. Their reputation is in the gutter, and so far they've only managed to anger the PC gaming community. I just wonder if some developers will avoid exclusivity deals with them just because they don't want to face a PR nightmare. Anyway, I agree, Steam needs competition, better competition, but how Epic Games has gone about it is unfortunate, and really I am curious to see what happens long term with that store. But what do you guys make of Borderlands 3 being a timed exclusive and Randy Pitchford's comments? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value. Make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter giving opinions on news that I do not always get into video form, so make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games. And again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.